In this lesson, we'll be turning our attention to an international judicial institution known in short as the ICC. No, not that ICC, you idiot. The International Criminal Court. Although I would say some sort of international cricket court would be really cool. Cool. So the next couple of lessons we'll look at the background, aims, and effectiveness of the International Criminal Court. And in today's lesson we'll be focusing on stop there. The background to the International Criminal Court. The ICC officially began operating in 2002, the same year that Nelly released his seminal classic, It's Hot in Her, Avril Lavigne, her masterpiece, Skater Boy, but most importantly, 2002 was the year that Daniel Bedingfield released two of the definitive moments in the international relations of the 1990s were the Rwandan genocide, which occurred in 1996, and a number of wars occurring in countries that were part of the former Yugoslavia. Both of these conflicts were defined by gruesome crimes against humanity, including genocide, planned and carried out not just by thugs and warlords, but amongst others, governments, politicians, and the military and police forces. These crises posed a difficult question for the international community. Namely, how do you punish perpetrators of heinous crimes like genocide when those who are perpetrating them either can't be controlled by the state or themselves control that state? Of course, these questions weren't new and they've been dealt with throughout history by different groups of people facing the same problem. But it just so happened that the 1990s, alongside the rise of such great and momentous events as Beanie Babies,
Maple, Princess, Aaron, peace, glory,
witnesses a convergence of circumstances led largely by the dominance of US foreign policy, which was defined by a liberal internationalism, the default stance of the US in the global order until Trump.
Dennis, you're fired.
Fatality.
This convergence of circumstances meant that people could argue that the rule of law should extend beyond state boundaries and that nobody should be immune from it, no matter who or how powerful they are. You also saw the rise of these international courts that were temporarily set up to prosecute people who had committed crimes in the former Yugoslavia and Rwanda. Now, these tribunals were set up purely to prosecute perpetrators, limited to the conflicts in Rwanda and the former Yugoslavia. But it created a groundswell of support for something more permanent. And so in the mid to late 1990s, plans were drawn up to establish a permanent international criminal court set up with the express purpose to operate as an international criminal court. I don't know. So, in 1998, the United Nations General Assembly met in Rome and passed a treaty known as the Rome Statute, which would set up the court and outline how the court would operate. In short, the court would have three main organs, illustrated unhelpfully here by different historical organs. The presidency, responsible for the day-to-day administration and running of the court, the judicial division, a series of different courts responsible for conducting trials, and the office of the prosecutor, the most public part of the ICC, whose job it is to conduct investigations and to prosecute on behalf of the ICC. The court has the ability to indict and prosecute individuals for things like crimes against humanity, war crimes, and genocide, when the government of that state is either unable to or unwilling to prosecute those individuals itself. Cases can be referred to the court by any state who is signatory to the Rome Statute. They can also be referred by a resolution from the UN Security Council, or if the judge is in the ICC's pre-trial chamber, judge if necessary. The court is headquartered in a Dutch coastal city called The Hague, pictured here in this incredibly unappealing tourism video.
Every moment I live is agony.
Now, the International Criminal Court, a symbol of justice that would reign throughout the world, was originally located here in a renovated car park. Since then, it's been moved to the far more auspicious location of a former army barracks. It seems like there's a bit of a theme here because the ICC's neighbor, the Special Tribunal for Lebanon, which was set up to prosecute those responsible for the car bombing that killed former Lebanese Prime Minister Rafik Hariri, whose central courtroom used to be the Dutch intelligence service's basketball court. I guess that gives a whole new meaning to the idea of an international court.